Coffee and Convo, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building. You guys know what time it is. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raiders. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, I see Johnny Wade, DeMokes, Green Dot Gang, Full Effect, Top Beats. It's always good to see one of my fathers in the building. I see CGR, Graphk, all my people. Make sure you guys wipe them feet. That means hit those thumbs up around these parts and also hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed yet. A lot to talk about today. It looks as though we may be getting a presser here in the next 30 minutes, you guys. So stay tuned for that. We will be covering every second of it. It just has a date on it, but I'm assuming it's going to be Geno Smith. I'm assuming Pete Carroll is going to be involved because of the connection that he has with Geno. So stay tuned. I'm looking right now. On the back end, it looks 4/7/25 Raiders. NFL starts in 32 minutes. So there's no names tied to it, but I'm assuming it is our new quarterback one. We're going to cover that every step of the way. I want to talk about also this phenomenal article that dropped today by Albert Breer on SI.com. We're going to cover some ground on that as well. Geno goes over, him leaving Seattle, his relationship with Pete Carroll, his relationship with Chip Kelly. A lot of people tend to forget that there's some ties there with Chip Kelly. We're going to talk about him and Tom Brady's relationship. It looks as though JPJ flew out to Miami, Florida, where Geno is from, and got some burn-in with him as well. So we're going to go over this article, and also there's some interesting names that we'll be visiting with the Raiders tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. We're going to cover that every step of the way as well. But everybody in the chat, man, let me know how you guys are feeling. Salute, man. Good morning. I know this is a little earlier on the West Coast than we do with our Coffee and Convos. I try to have it set up at 1 p.m. Central, so I can kind of get everybody, when everybody's awake, moving and shaking. But wanted to go a little earlier today because of the presser. So thank you guys for those who are here. Make sure, once again, if you guys can, share out the stream. Let everybody know we're here. Get those likes up and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Salute the True Raider podcast. Wipe them feet. Salute to my guy, True Raider. I appreciate you on the $2 special. Eddie, man, salute to you, man. He said, better than sex. All I got to say, salute to Desert Raider. JPJ's acting like a leader. Hell yeah, man. I mean, come on, man. This is what we expected when we took him in the second round out of Oregon, man. This kid is one of those ones, you guys, a bully in the trenches, a leader in the locker room, phenomenal football player on the field. This is what we were expecting when we went out and got the likes of a Jackson Powers Johnson. And you love to see it, man. New quarterback in the building. They want to build that rapport early on. Football is back tomorrow, you guys. I mean, for those who don't know, football is back April 7th. People are going to be out there in the building at Henderson. So we're going to cover that every step of the way as well. But I am excited, man, to see that JPJ is out there already building that rapport with our new quarterback one, who will be here at least the next 2 years as the quarterback one. And once again, we'll talk about every scenario. We've been talking about it every day about is it out of the ordinary right now for us to take a quarterback at 6? I think that chances are getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer by the day. And, we'll go over this real quick. So the combine, you guys, there was a lot of talk about the Raiders being very intrigued by 2 quarterbacks out there, Jalen Milroe, Alabama quarterback who has all the measurables in the world. He just needs the right coaching, the right developing to be the guy at the next level. We all know he has all the arm strength, all the intangibles to get it done, but the accuracy is a problem. But Athleticism has never been an issue with Jalen Milroe. Then there was another guy that was being tied to the Raiders out there at the combine, Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers. Well, it looks like those two will be, Ashton Jeanty and Quinn Ewers will be visiting the Raiders tomorrow as football activities get back rolling in Henderson. So there's going to be a lot going on tomorrow. A lot of people in the building. And I love that John Spytek and company are bringing these guys in the day when we're kind of all back in the building so they can kind of get an idea of how we go about our business. According to Ian Rappaport, Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty and Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers are among the prospects invited for meetings with the Las Vegas Raiders this week, according to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. Jeanty and Ewers will touch down in Sin City on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, and this comes from, once again, Ian Rappaport, first on the case with this. So what do you guys think about this, man? I love the news that we're bringing these guys in. You know, in a perfect world, Jeanty's there at 6. You take him. He's your running back of the future. He's a future Hall of Famer at the running back position in the perfect world, right? And then Quinn Ewers, you know, we can get him there at 68 in the 3rd round. I don't think that he's going to last until the 4th round. In a perfect world, you can get him there in the 4th because he's a developmental type guy. You know, I'm not a big Quinn Ewers guy. I live in Dallas. A lot of Longhorn fans out here. He had an okay season last year, you know, 3,400 yards in the air. He had 31 touchdowns. He had 12 picks, a QBR of 75.4 that put him 21st in the country last year. He's from the Dallas area, South Lake, Texas. Had 293 completions on 445 attempts. He's had some injuries, you know, that he's had to deal with out there at the collegiate level, whether it was, I believe, Ohio State or, you know, Texas. But, I mean, this is a guy that I'm willing to take a flyer on in the middle rounds if they expect, you know, if they think that he can be the guy. And once again, he played with Texas from 2022 to 2024. I believe he was a transfer, right, from Ohio State. But it's going to be interesting to see what we think about Quinn Ewers. You know, I'm not that high on him at all. I'd rather have Jalen Milroe if he's there at 68 in the 3rd round. I would definitely make that move. I think Milroe is probably going to be gone in the 2nd round. He may even be gone in the 1st round, you guys. Apparently, he accepted an invite to Green Bay to the draft in the next few weeks. So it looks like there may be a team taking a flyer on him potentially in the 1st round. So I wouldn't be shocked by that. But I have Milroe not leaving the 2nd round. Quinn Ewers, on the other hand, could potentially be available there in the 3rd round, and you can use that 68 selection and bring him in. So I have no problem with that if Chip Kelly believes that he can, you know, develop him and get whatever you can out of that kid moving forward at the next level. Let me see. Josh says, I'm fully on board with GTS 6. I was waffling and hoping to trade back and get him, but not sure that's possible. Number 9 would be the furthest back we can go. But then again, you know, we can get jumped. This is facts. Facts, man. And who's to say, man, that there's not another team out there that may jump us to go get Jeanty? This kid is that good. He's that good, you know, and I can see potentially the Saints making a move with us if Shedeur is available there at 6, though. I think he fits what they're trying to do out there. They're probably going to move on from Derek Carr after this year. I don't know, you know, what the new regime thinks about Spencer Rattler. It would make all the sense in the world for the Saints to potentially go up to 6. But then at that point, is Jeanty going to be available? I don't know. You know, the Bears are sitting there at 10. I think that they would take him, but we shall see. It's going to get interesting these next few weeks. Salute to my guy, OakLosVegas. Hey, Graphk, can you list your top 4 corners you think the Raiders can take any round? Thanks always for the insight. Salute to IROC. Yeah, my boy. And I know this is coming on the eve of us moving on from Jack Jones, right? We need a corner. I mean, Will Johnson is an easy name to throw out there. I wouldn't take him at 6 because of the injury concerns. But if Siobhan Revel's there in the 2nd round, I'm grabbing him immediately. You know, he fits that big prototype corner that Pete Carroll likes. Benjamin Morrison, Notre Dame in the 2nd round. If he's available there, I have no issue taking him. There's a few other guys as well. I love Barron out of Texas, but I cannot live with taking a nickel there at 6. If we move back, I have no problem taking Barron, the kid out of Texas. You know, he's a baller. He is a stud. If we could find a way to move back in that 13 range maybe, or, you know, find a trade partner where Miami is or the Niners, I have no issue taking him, but just not at 6. And potentially he could be a top 10, top 15 talent in this draft. But I'm just saying at 6, I'd rather trade back to get him. And then Zal Frazier, Iraq. That's an easy, he's a big body guy, ball hawk, UTSA. He fits the mold of what Pete Carroll likes to do, those mid to late round guys, the Tariq Woolen effect. They're both UTSA guys. And we're going to talk about that as well, Iraq. I do believe that maybe we can have a Roadrunners Raiders DB room because for some reason, Tariq Woolen kind of fell out of favor a little bit last year in Seattle. They have a deep cornerback group out there. I think that they're bringing in I think Shaquille Griffin is coming in for a visit in Seattle, which is interesting. I think he's visiting Seattle. I think Jordan put it up there earlier. Salute to Jordan Schultz. I think he said that Shaquille Griffin is going to go out there for an interview, or not for an interview, but for a visit. Yep, he's set to visit the Seahawks. So former Pro Bowl cornerback, if they add him, look, I'm calling. I'm making a move for Tariq Woolen, the kid that, Pete Carroll drafted, initially brought him in, had him performing at a high level early on. That's the kind of move I would make. Definitely go see if you can throw that other third out there for Tariq Woolen. Just send 2/3 to Seattle. You get Geno, you get Tariq Woolen. I would do that all day, every day. And then you can look at, once again, Zal Frazier there in the 4th, 5th, or 6th, double up at corner. You got 2 big body guys that Pete Carroll loves. Salute to Top Beats, man. My guy gifting 10 OLV Raiders Network membership. Salute to my brother. I appreciate you. And salute to all the new members here in the building. As always, I appreciate you guys so much. If you missed out on those 10, hit the link. It's pinned up top. Definitely helps us keep the lights on over here top. My brother, love you. Appreciate you, man. Let me see. Tony, hey, I like both of those kids. I think that they both can be successful at the next level. Will Johnson just kind of scares me a little bit with the recent injury history, you know what I'm saying? But he could be a baller. He could be a perennial all-pro type guy if he could stay healthy. Definitely. And Barron, man, watching his tape, he's fun to watch as well. I watched him a ton because I'm out here locally, in Texas, and they're huge Longhorns fans. Every cigar lounge you go to on a Saturday, you're watching the Longhorns regardless. You know what I mean? So I think he could be a stud. I just don't want to take a kid there early on at 6 that is going to predominantly play for you in the nickel. And I know that, Pete Carroll has done that in recent memory out there in Seattle, taking a stud there. What was it? 5, 6, and he played a ton in the nickel as well. But I prefer, if there's a blue chip guy there in Ashton Jeanty, I'd rather take a guy in Ashton Jeanty over the likes of a Barron there at 6. Let me see. Salute to everybody here in the building. As always, we will be going over this article that dropped. But once again, for those who did not see the beginning of the show, Ashton Jeanty and Quinn Ewers will both be flying into Las Vegas tomorrow for a visit. So stay tuned for that. Porter's nice too, man. I would love. I got a feeling though that Porter's gonna be gone in the 2nd round, Josh. I do. He may fall to the 3rd. He could be there in the 3rd, but he has those measurables too that Pete definitely looks for in his DBs. You know what I mean? But I have a feeling he'll be gone in the 2nd round. Let me see. Salute. Once again, I see my brother, the my father himself, Hug Dizzle, was in the building, man. Salute to Mondo as well. Adam Sweeney, all my people here in the building. Appreciate you guys as always. And we will be covering the presser here that starts in about 20 minutes. So stay tuned for that as well. Now, let me share this. I'm going to share the screen real quick, you guys. Once again, salute to everybody here in the building. Wipe them feet. Hit them thumbs up, you guys. If you're not subscribed yet, what are y'all waiting on? You guys have to check out this article. I'm not going to read the entire article because it's a very, very long article. But there are a lot of gems in this Albert Breer story. Once again, salute to Albert Breer over at SI.com. Once again, man, this was a phenomenal article. Geno kind of goes over, him leaving Seattle, the expectations of what he thought Seattle was trying to do moving forward, trying to get younger, going in a different direction. And, seeing Pete Carroll get the job in Las Vegas, and, Pete is his guy. And he pretty much saying, I never thought that this would happen in a million years. Pete getting another head coaching job, him end up going to be the QB1 for Pete Carroll. His time in Seattle, how much he loved being up there and how much it changed his career. But also there was some gems here with, flying out to Miami. He's from the Miami area, getting a chance to go out there and visit Tom Brady and sitting there and being able to pick his brain a little bit and seeing why Tom Brady was okay, throwing out the okay of moving that third round pick to go get Geno Smith. Him talking about, Chip Kelly out there at Ohio State coaching his cousin Jeremiah Smith out there, who won a national title together last year, and just kind of big upping his system and what he looks like offensively, the mind of Chip Kelly, and him saying that this is crazy, kind of finally getting an opportunity to play under Chip Kelly. This is a guy that went out there and tried to bring him into Oregon, when Geno Smith was at the high school level. He went out there and recruited him. And for him to finally at this point, this late in his career at 34, 35 years old, to get an opportunity to play under Chip, it's just kind of like a full circle kind of type moment. You know what I mean? Like for him to be able to play under Chip Kelly in Las Vegas with Pete Carroll in the fold. But also he just goes over mentioning JPJ flying out to Miami, and them trying to build a rapport out there early on before football activities are allowed in Las Vegas. Once again, I'm not going to go over this full article, you guys, but there was some gems here, man. Once again, talking about Pete Carroll's relationship with Chip Kelly, what Tom Brady expects moving forward, why Tom Brady okayed the move to bring him in. There was one I wanted to read right here. This was right here with why he was kind of okay with moving on from Seattle. Obviously, they have guys in the building that they want to step up and be leaders. And they got a new head coach last year. Smith says, and Mike was good for us. And I really enjoyed being with him for that season. But again, man, when you're talking about business and you're talking about a quarterback who wants not only to get paid, but every player wants to get paid, but to be respected, that's the most important thing. It's the respect factor. So he kind of felt the disconnect there in Seattle, and that's why, he eventually moved on from Seattle to greener pastures in Las Vegas with his, being able to reunite with Pete Carroll. Spoke about the disconnect there. Also, I would call him whenever I got frustrated. This is relationship with Pete Carroll. He talked to me through things, and he still coached me. And I think that's what makes him such a special man, is that he was coaching me even when he wasn't my head coach. A lot of things that he was telling me, a lot of the conversations we had really kept me steady throughout the season and kept my head on straight because, again, man, this is a team that I gave my everything I had to. And he goes over, with McDonald, the situation out there, what they went through last year, 21 touchdowns, 15 picks, accuracy still on full display. He didn't talk about, the ground game, the offensive line. He didn't go into detail about why it didn't work out last year, but, he had some bullet points there of why, he was frustrated and why he felt the need to move on. He also went on to say that, Coach Carroll, man, he's a special guy, a special coach. And he was there when Smith needed him the most. It was very frustrating last year because as a team, we set goals for ourselves and we didn't achieve those goals, Geno says. And being a part of that team, being a quarterback, I take that right on my shoulders. I love that accountability. QB is the most critical position in football. More quarterbacks need to take more, initiative and put that on his shoulders. And I feel like that's my responsibility to make sure that stuff happens. We weren't able to reach our goals, weren't able to get to the playoffs. That's the ultimate goal, to give yourself a chance to go out there and win the championship. And that's what frustrated me the most. And then obviously not having any real security there, not feeling like you're really a part of the future plans. There's a lot to think about. And I want to go down to the bottom of the article once again. He went on to say, Breer went on to say Seahawks wanted to do right by Smith. There was a few other teams apparently on trying to trade for Geno. Everything lined up for the Raiders to make it happen with that third round pick. He said, I just thought the opportunity in Vegas, man, it was just too great to pass up. By the end, it wasn't just Pete Carroll either. This is where he goes on to speak about the relationship that he has with Chip Kelly. He was a guy that recruited him out of South Florida in high school. He wanted him to come to Oregon. It didn't pan out, but they kept in touch over the years, according to Geno Smith. Talks about the time in Ohio State where he coached his cousin Jeremiah Smith went on to talk about how he developed Will Howard. He gave Chip Kelly a ton of flowers. Once again, you guys, I'm not going to read everything. If you get a chance to go over here and read the article, it's a phenomenal article. I'll put the link in the description here in a minute. He went to say he not just coached Jeremiah, but that entire offense. Smith says they had 2 1,000-yard runners, Juckins and Henderson. They had 2 1,000-yard receivers. I mean, they were very, very balanced. They lost 2 of the top O-linemen in the country and went out and won the Natty. Watching that team and how he developed quarterback Will Howard and how he got better throughout the season, you just see it. So seeing that firsthand and all the schematic things that they're trying to do to gain advantages, and now he's bringing new wrinkles up into the NFL game. He's done this before. He's doing it again, and I just think it's going to be a great thing talking about, getting his chance to play with Chip Kelly out there in Las Vegas. Also, once again, goes on to say that Brady FaceTimed him immediately after the deal went through, or as it was getting to the goal line. They had a conversation. He said that Brady was really high on Geno because of him mastering the game in his 30s. This is also what he went on to say here, you guys. I've always been really hard on myself about being able to play the game without using all the physical attributes, Smith says. And from watching my tape, that's something that he noticed, Tom Brady, and how I handle protections, got in and out of plays. We ran a very intricate system last season. It was our first year in the system, but we didn't hold back on anything. And I think that's something he recognized and he noticed. Stuff from the neck up, decision-making, leadership, just all those things are the things that Tom talked to me about, the reasons why they wanted me here in Las Vegas. Goes on to say, Brady invited Smith over to his house in Miami. They had a discussion, talked football. He also kind of picked his brain about his regimen with staying healthy, being able to play into his mid-40s and basically stealing his regimen. It's kind of funny to see that. Geno still has a ton of tread on the tires, you guys. He didn't play a ton early on in his career. This isn't the ideal 34-year-old kind of situation. There's still a ton of let me say it is the ideal situation for us, but it's not the most, this doesn't happen a lot. At 34, 35 years old, you're kind of getting a guy kind of at the tail end of their career, and this guy still has a ton of tread left on the wheels. We sat and talked for hours, he says, about Brady. You're sitting there, you're like, man, it's Tom Brady. And then again, he's got a hand in the organization that I'm playing for. There's a lot of responsibility there. So I'll leave a lot of this for you guys to be able to read also, but I love that he went on to say that he's in constant communication with Max Crosby. They've been FaceTiming over and over and over. He also went on to say that on Friday night, promising second-year lineman Jackson Powers-Johnson traveled to Miami for a few days with the quarterback with plans for dinner that night, and then went on field work for the quarterback center exchange over the weekend. Look, I'll leave the rest for you guys to read, but this is just a great, great article by Albert Breer. You love to see it. Salute to him, and go over to si.com and check it out. But this is what you want to see out of your quarterback. Once again, the exchange with him and Jackson Powers-Johnson in year 2, them getting familiar with each other early on. Tom Brady already having that discussion with Geno and building that camaraderie. Max Crosby, your leader in that locker room. They're talking about ways to, maximize what they have going on in Las Vegas on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. You just love to see this, man. Once again, I'm going to put the article. Let me see. I'm going to put the article in the comments section right now. If you guys get an opportunity, go check it out. Boom, boom. Put it right there. All right, let me catch up on the chat. My apologies, you guys. We have 1,000 people between Twitter and YouTube. Salute to everybody here in the building. Let me catch up. I know I'm very behind on the chat. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I got Top Beats gifting a 10. Appreciate you once again, big bro. Let me see. I'm going to get these supers in real fast so I don't feel like, everyone gets their money's worth. Salute to Josh, gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. My brother, I appreciate you. Salute to the new 5 people here in the building because of Josh. Welcome to Green Dot Gang. If you missed out on those 5, hit the link. It's pinned up top. It definitely helps us keep the lights on. Eddie, I think Zoff Frazier's great. I know some people are worried about his age. I'm not really too much worried about that. He's a ball hawk, and Pete Carroll's a former DB, and you've seen what he can do with DBs. He's the DB whisperer. You know what I mean? I think Zah Frazier would be phenomenal with Pete Carroll. And he wouldn't have to be a guy that would start for you immediately. We still have Jacorian Bennett. Where's DCAM fit in the grand scheme of things? I think they're going to take a corner there in the first 3 rounds potentially. So Zah wouldn't have to go out there and be a starter immediately if you take him there in the 4th, 5th, 6th round. So salute to Frank, man. It's funny you're a member. I'm going to get you the fuck out of here. Boom, 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 boom. That boy is cooked. Salute to pessimistic Frank. All D, baby. I don't give a F. D wins championships. Pause to pessimistic Frank, but I appreciate you. And yes, we do have to definitely pick up that defensive side of the ball in the draft. You're going to get a corner or two. You're probably going to get another defensive tackle there, maybe a late round edge rusher to hopefully, develop. You're going to get a linebacker or two as well, pessimistic. So, in a perfect world, you can trade back, pick up a bunch of extra draft capital and lean into that linebacking group, which I think they're going to get some linebackers late, even potentially some UDFAs. We talked about Woodard, the UNLV kid that you could potentially get in the 7th round, or even if he falls into the UDFA area, you can bring him in. But yes, I agree with you. Got to attack the linebacking group, potentially add another body or two to that defensive line. You got to add a corner or two for sure. And I wouldn't be shocked if they added another safety there to compete out there with Chin and Palomar. Salute to pessimistic. Salute to Terry, my God, man. Appreciate you, brother, becoming a member as well. I think you're just re-upping, but I appreciate you. Salute. Thank you to my sis Niles. Thank you, Graphk. That's awesome. Thank you for being here, sis. As always, appreciate you for pulling up. Salute to Hug Dizzle, my dog, gifting 10 OLV Raiders Network memberships. Salute. Appreciate you. He says, Graphk just double tapped the dude. I already sniped. Frank died twice. Salute to her. You know what's funny? I think I actually know who that is. That's what's so funny because, when you do this for so long, you kind of see these names and you kind of realize, oh, that's this kid's burner. Or another guy that tries to do what we do over here at OLV. I think I know exactly who that was. So it was only a matter of time they got sniped. Salute to Hug, my dog. I appreciate you, brother, gifting 10 of them things. You know what, Eddie? I'm going to show it. And if I get demonetized, I get demonetized. I'll take the hit with the ad money. It is what it is. The last time I showed the presser, I ended up not being able to monetize my video. But guess what? This video was about you guys. It's about the presser and all that good stuff. So I'll take the hit on the ad money, and we're going to put it up on screen. We're going to have some fun and watch this thing as a family. So salute. JS says, going to be an interesting year with the Raiders. Definitely, man. Definitely. Let me see. Andrew, how do you drop the ball? A ton of great 1-year deals. You didn't go out there and overpay for mid players. What's the issue? This was not a great free agency class in the first place. There were a few players that I would have liked to bring in, you know what I mean? But once again, do you want to pay that kind of money, to bring in guys? Come on, man. Bro, the market was absolutely insane. For you to get a guy like Chin at $8 million per, that's a win. For you to get a guy like a Landon Roberts at $3 million for a season, that's a win. So you got great 1-year deals. Eric Stokes at an inexpensive deal, was a prove it deal. Former first round guy that Pete Carroll really likes. I like what they did. Once again, great teams don't build through free agency. They build through the draft. Great teams are not built in March, Andrew. They're built in April. 88, no. Nothing yet on Renfro. I haven't heard anything. Oh, yeah, Chuck, I know. Salute to my brother Chuck, man, big bro in the building. Graphk, you can run the audio and stay on screen. You won't get the. You know what? But I want everybody to see it live and live in color. So it is what it is. I'll take the hit today. I'm not worried about it. I won't get a strike or anything like that. I just can't monetize it for ad money. I'm not worried about it. Dan, I hope that you and Ant get the next the next gifted memberships, brothers. I do, man. And if I could single-handedly throw you one, I would throw you guys an alley-oop right now. They don't pick and choose how it works. You know what I mean? If I could say, hey, I want to give one to Dan and one to Ant, I wish I can do that, but that's not how it works. Hopefully you catch the next gifted memberships. Joe Nation, what's up, brother? Salute to my guy. Once again, for those who are just joining, we're going over the Albert Breer article on SI.com about Geno Smith. Phenomenal read, you guys. Check it out. I put the link in the comment section. Also, we're going over some visits tomorrow. Jeanty will be flying out to Las Vegas, and Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers. So stay tuned for that. And once again, tomorrow we return to football activities. So it's going to be interesting to have these guys in the building for first day back at Henderson. I'm going to read this real quick. Let me bring this back up. First day tomorrow, April 8th, you guys. April 8th. First day back on the clock in Henderson. Voluntary minicamp, April 21st through the 23rd. That's voluntary, okay? OTA, off-season workouts, May 19th, May 21st through the 22nd, May 27th, May 29th through the 30th, and then June 2nd through the 5th, and then mandatory minicamp, June 10th through the 12th. So there you go. But tomorrow, the first day. So it's great to see that, Jeanty is going to be in the building and Quinn Ewers will be there the first day. We're back in the building, man. You I love the way SpyTech and company are making this thing work. I love it, man. Like they're building this thing the right way. The energy is here, and once again, we get a presser today, and I'm assuming it's Geno Smith. So the chat's going absolutely bonkers right now. I appreciate you guys so much for always supporting what we do, man. Let me see. Salute to Raider Ryan, man. Gifting 5 of them shits, man. My dog, Raider Ryan, one of the GOATs over here, too. My brother, I appreciate you. Salute to all the new 5 members in Green Dot Gang. Salute to Rob with a fucking bomb. Woo! With a bomb. 50 OLV Raiders Network memberships. Rob, my brother, I salute you so much. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for all of the support that you always show the channel. Raider Rob 702, my brother, man. Salute to you and Raider Ryan. I'm not gonna, 550. Thank you both. That's 55 new members because of my guy Raider Rob and Raider Ryan, man. You guys are the GOATs. And Brave, my brother Rick, gifting 5 as well. That's 60-piece special. We're almost to 100 already, you guys. Top 10, hug 10. That's 20. We got Ryan with a 5-piece, Rick with a 5-piece. That's a 30. We're at like 80 right now. We're like damn near at 100, man. You guys are the best, man. Rick, my brother, appreciate you. Salute to Brave Raider. Salute to Hug, my dog. After the showcase, how do you feel about them Colorado boys? Do they rise or fall? How do you see the path where either falls our way? If there's a Colorado kid and GT's at 6, are you making the call to Boulder? It's going to be interesting, man. I think that Shador went out there and killed a ton of narratives. He can't throw the deep ball. This, and that. I think that Shador went out there and absolutely killed, his showcase out there at Boulder at his pro day. I think that he had a phenomenal day. I think he killed a ton of narratives. I think that Travis Hunter went out there. It was interesting that he didn't do any corner drills. Just went out there as a wide receiver. That lets you know, it's pretty telling that he wants to go out there and get that wide receiver bag, which I like. I think that he kind of signed, sealed, and delivered himself to Cleveland there at 2. I still think that Cleveland's going to be in on trying to go get Kirk Cousins from Atlanta. I think that's like a foregone conclusion that he'll be there, and Kenny Pickett will be the backup out there with, Watson still on the shelf for the season with that injury. But I think Shador definitely set himself up to be the clear-cut number 2 quarterback. Now, where that lands him, I don't know. Maybe the Giants are still sold on him there at 3, but I still have like a weird nagging suspicion that they may go with whoever Cleveland doesn't take at 2, i.e. Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. So if he falls to 6, I wouldn't be shocked if New Orleans came calling and we moved back 3 spots and picked up some extra draft capital and they took Shador. I wouldn't be shocked if we took Shador. There's still some people in the media and fans, including, a ton of people in the chat that still think that if he's there at 6, take him. But I think that he helped his stock at his pro day. I think that he only had like, what was it, like 4 or 5 incompletions. And I believe that some of those were drops, from his receivers. I like Jimmy Horn Jr. out there, had a beautiful like 45-yard bomb from Shador, and he ended up hitting a backflip on a great deep ball thrown his way. I like Will Shepherd a lot. He has had a problem dropping the football here and there. So I think he'll be more of a late round guy, the big body guy out of Colorado. But man, I love it. And one thing I like, Hug, about that pro day as well was, I don't know if you guys seen that part where the scout or the scout, I think, what was it? The scout came in and pretty much was trying to get the guys ready for their 40. And he was like telling them to do some things. And Dion came up and said, no, do exactly what you did to get here in the first place. You love to see it. You don't want any last second changes before you run your 40. I love the way Dion said that. Like, he came up like, nah. Whatever he's saying, y'all don't do that, because you are here for a reason. Your purpose, you're already set in stone here. The last thing you want to do is tinker with what got you here in the first place that could potentially drop you in your 40. So I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, why would Dion, go over there and disrespect the scout and so on. I don't look at it like that. I think Dion said, look, this is what got you guys here. Do not change anything last minute that could potentially, be harmful to your draft stock. I love the way Dion went about that. Salute to Niles, my sis. I appreciate you gifting 5 OLV Network membership, sis. Everything you do for the channel as well. Forever indebted to you, sis. Thank you. And salute the Top. I think we pretty much hit 100 mark today. That's crazy because of you guys, man. Salute the Top. Salute to Niles. My brother Top, love you once again, brother. Appreciate you. Salute to Ant gifting 5. My dog, man, you guys are the best. 100-piece special. Thank you. And yeah, once again, Josh Wright, play your game. What got you here? Salute to Ant, my dog. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, and who doesn't do that, Dan? Who doesn't do that? I can show you some tape right now of Tom Brady tapping the ball. I can show you film right now of Aaron Rodgers tapping the football. All the greats. Once again, you guys, this was a pro day. This wasn't him live in living color out there, live bullets. Like, he was in practice. Yeah, he patted the football. Cool. Not beating him up for that. But once again, there's clear evidence of all the greats doing the same thing. Because I seen something where Andre Cisco, salute to him, safety. I believe he plays for the Jets now. I think he came over from Jacksonville, I believe. Said, hey, man, we're going to jump on that all day, every day. Man, look, nobody want to hear that shit. Nobody want to hear that shit. No disrespect to Cisco. We liked him in that draft class a lot. But, I mean, Cisco, come on, man. We're going to jump on those all day. Come on, man. Let me see. Top, my brother, man. Thank you. Yeah. Niles, Dan Marino, all the greats. Ronnie, once again. Yes. There you go. Cam Ward pats the ball on his pro day in 0 coverage. Bing. But once again, these guys are smart enough to know what comes with being a Sanders. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Salute to the 1,000 people still rocking with me in the building. I'm waiting on the presser here. Should be coming on any second, you guys. I have it up on the background. You know what? Let me do this real quick. I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to share screen. Boom. And I'm going to present this.
Hey, what was the name of that learning app again?
IXL. It gives each kid.
What I'm going to do is this. Bring that down. And bing, we're here. And I'm going to bring the volume up. Once again, we get demonetized. It is what it is. Salute to the chat. I'm looking forward to this one. I know a lot of people were waiting on this presser. Some people more than others. You know what I mean? Where's Ty at in the building? I know Ty was he was Pookie from New Jack City for this press conference. Where you at now, Ty? Shit is real. Shit is real. It's here. We're here. Salute to Joe Nation. Just saying, Graphk, drafting a guard in the top 3 rounds changes our O-line for years to come. That's my take this year. Fix the O-line, fix the team. Joe, I hear you, brother. I'm here for it. If we take a guard or a tackle there in the first 3 rounds, I'm here for it. And I wouldn't be shocked at all because Spytech loves to draft O-linemen. He built that. He had a hand in the pot building that O-line up out there in Tampa Bay. So, not mad about it at all. Salute to my guy, Joe. Let me see. Mike says we need some big, ugly, angry motherfuckers on the O-line. DeMokes, you're about to get blizzard. He said quarterback 2 presser incoming. He's still waiting on that Aiden O'Connell MVP season to happen. Clayton, you know what, man? Charles Grant is a guy that's going to continue. His name is going to continue to rise. I know he's more of a small school guy, but I don't know. If he does make it to the 3rd round, I'm definitely going all in. That dude's a stud, man. He's a stud. Salute to Hug. YouTube can demonetize all they want. We'll make up for it in super chats and gift memberships. Thanks for taking this chance to watch it together with us. Goated creator of Raider Nation. My brother, man, I appreciate you, bro. Hug. You guys always support me as much as, it's crazy that I can actually do this for a living because of you guys. So, hey, man, why not be able to take a hit? It's not that big of a deal, man. Appreciate you, brother, so much. Hug, man, the GOAT, the mod father himself, taking a minute away from the gym to come kick it with his bro Graphk. Salute to Cap. First, we got Spytech chatting up Jeanty at his pro day. Then we got Jeanty getting a private workout with us. All I'm saying, we're either telegraphing. Here we go. Cap, I know. Spytech.
Good morning, everyone. Obviously, today, it's a really exciting day for me and my family, but also it's an exciting day for the Raiders organization. Got 2 really good guys to my right and my left who helped me become a part of this. And, we're really excited to get here and get to work. Really excited to get to know all my teammates, get to know all the fans, really immerse myself into, Las Vegas and be a part of this thing. I've always, revered the Raiders from afar, the silver and black, all the nostalgia when you think about just, the NFL. The Raiders is a big part of that. And we're here to win. We're here to do this thing the right way. I want to lead the right way. I want to be a big part of
Geno.
The culture here and just doing the right things and really just leave my mark on my teammates, on the team, and the organization.
Goody Monster with the Review Journal. Welcome to Las Vegas. Life can move pretty fast in the NFL, and when you're a Seattle Seahawks, the next thing you know, the Raiders are interested in trading for you. Pete Carroll being your former coach, how quickly did all the boxes get checked off for you? And that's where I wanted to be. Yeah,
I mean, initially, when I thought this was a possibility, just Coach Carroll alone, drew interest here, and getting to know all the inner workings, getting to meet John, getting to talk to Tom Brady, and just, really just understand what this thing is about and the direction they're going. I saw myself aligning with that. And, I think today is the start of that.
Hey, Geno, it's Tashawn Reed from The Athletics. You haven't played for Chip Kelly before, but, he recruited you coming out of college, and you also coached your cousin last year. How well do you know his system, and what are your thoughts about his system?
Yeah, I've known his system from afar. He recruited me in college, when he was at Oregon, and I really, gave it some thought. I thought about going there. Really liked Chip then, just kind of followed him throughout. So, when he went to the Eagles, had an interview with them when I was coming out for the draft. So I got to meet him again there. And then, last year he was coaching Jeremiah. So, I just watched their team. I watched the way that he handled, the injuries that they had. I watched the way that he managed having 2 really good running backs, and those guys, equally had 1,000 yards. They had a bunch of really good receivers who they spread the ball out to.
My guy got the Ronnie glasses on for power.
About this system. Obviously, I've got to dive into it and really just learn the ins and outs of it and how he wants things to be run. But just watching it like a fan from afar, I was really impressed.
Levi was with the Las Vegas Raiders. Just based on how things ended in Seattle, how much of a desire was there to kind of continue this relationship? And do you believe that there was some unfinished business that you're really looking forward to kind of continuing with Pete Carroll with this decision?
Yes, sir. That's a great way to put it. I think there is unfinished business, and I think, when people think about my story, Coach Carroll was a big part of that. He gave me an opportunity when not many people would have, and he saw, the hard work that I was putting in. He saw the things behind the scenes that I do that allowed me to get this opportunity.
I got the scar faces
to
on.
be able to play for him, and again to be a part of this organization, it means everything to myself and my family. I was just telling him, man, I'll run through a wall for him. And he knows that. And I'll do the same for my teammates and for this organization. And so I just want that to be, kind of who I am. And I want that to be the statement of who I am as the quarterback of this team.
I might want to say that I might hit that wall before you get there.
Okay? I've seen it.
Come on, Pete.
Took his year off. Could you have envisioned
Pete.
a year later that you guys would be reunited? Not in Seattle, obviously, someplace else. Was that thought even?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't know this was a possibility. I mean, the way that life works, you just kind of take it step by step and day by day. But it's kind of how God works, man.
That silver and black suit, cold.
A big part of this, and I think it's a reason why we're here today.
What about Coach Carroll makes you want to play for him and makes you think that other players will want to play for him specifically?
Yeah, he's very relatable. He loves all of his players, just like they're his kids, and he treats us all the same. He treats us like men. He allows us to make decisions and allows us to be ourselves. But when it comes to inspiring people, guys to go out there and play hard, I mean, this guy's got it in spades. He's legendary. His track record speaks for itself, but he competes every single day, and that's what I love about him.
Compete.
Besides the winning, obviously, what do you hope he's talked about it? What do you hope Geno brings to your locker room?
Oh, he's going to bring us great stability and belief in the kinds of things that we stand for. His habits are so stellar. The way he works, the way he looks at the game, the way he looks at the challenges of it all is exactly in line with the way we think. And so he'll represent us in magnificent fashion. I think it gives us instant stability at a crucial spot.
Let's go.
The history that we have and my understanding of G and how to help him be the best he can be, and he knows how to bring out the best in our system because he'll stand for the competitiveness and the things that we believe in. It's just a great fit, and I'm so thrilled. This has been coming, but today feels like the real deal. We're finally here together, sitting next to each other, and talking about getting out on the field and throwing a football around, and that's what we're all about, and so we couldn't be more connected in that regard. I'd like to say too that Geno went through a lot to get here, and there was a lot of years in there when he had to take the second seat, and play in the quarterback position. But what I realized in him early on, not before we got him, but once we got to know him, that he was able to take every single day with a clear thought that I may play the very next play, and I'm not going to miss that opportunity. And he did it for a number of years. I mean, this is not like weeks. I'm talking for years playing behind Russell, and he just never let up on that thought. And it was so impressive to me. As soon as we had the opportunity to put him in position to take the lead, I couldn't wait. And he's been a winner ever since, and he's comeback player of the year for really 2022 reasons, and here we are now poised to go do something really, really unique. So it's fantastic that this has come together.
How do you feel about the way things ended with you in Seattle? How do you feel about that whole situation?
Yeah, it's just business, and that's the way things work in the NFL. There's no hard feelings for anyone there. I have a lot of love for everybody there, really, and I think it's just business. And there's new opportunity for everyone, and I'm so happy to be a part of this thing. I'm so happy to be here and where I am right now.
Great answer.
Looking forward to just creating so many new memories, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be real fun.
Pete used the word stability a couple times. What you're going to bring? What does that mean to you? Bringing stability?
Yeah, when you think about stability, I think about two things. I think about consistency, and I think about integrity. And those are the two things that I hang my hat on. I want to be consistent. I want to be the same guy every single day. I want to be hardworking. I want to be the first guy in, last guy out. And I want to do that whether someone's watching me or not. And that's where the integrity comes in.
Geno, the team did have a pair of 1,000-yard receivers, tight end, and Brock Bowers. What do you think of the weapons you'll be coming into with Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers?
Oh, man, I was just talking to Jacoby. We're so excited about the chance to work together. I followed him from New England to here, and I always thought he was a really good receiver, a really good player. Brock Bowers, he's an all-pro, one of the better tight ends in the NFL already, and I still think he's got so much room to grow and to improve. And a big part of my job is to help him do that, and he can help me improve as well. And so all the relationships with the guys, from Trey Tucker to Michael Meyer to just
Meyer,
all the guys, man, that I feel like
everybody does that,
and we can be successful with. But it takes an entire team, it takes an entire organization, and every single guy is important, and we want to make sure they feel that.
He was praising the way that you prepared us when you were number 2. You were always ready for that next play when you would step in. I guess, where did that come from? Obviously, it was a long road for you in this league. So how did you kind of focus in on that and know that was a situation for you?
Yeah, I just believe in being a really good teammate, and I believe it's important to the team that if I was to step into the game, that we would have to go out there and win. And I always wanted to be the reason for that. And when I was with Russell, or when I was with Phil, when I was with Eli, Ryan Fitzpatrick, I always looked at myself as like a second coach. And I would be out there on the field, Pete be out there, and I'm, coaching Russ like, hey, man, fourth quarter, you're Kobe Bryant, hey, go out there and win the game for us. I'm just talking to him and giving him the same thing that I would want in return. And so I think it comes down to the golden rule: treat others as you want to be treated. And that's kind of how I live my life. I want to make sure that I'm always ready, like the cliche says, so you don't have to get ready.
Where did you learn that golden rule from? Was it your family? Was it a coach?
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but yeah, my family, just my upbringing, being raised in the church, and just being a people person, wanting to be a part of community, wanting to uplift my community, and
Brother
wanting to make things better.
Heidi Fang, Las
Got
Vegas.
them Brother Maroon glasses
What
on.
kind of tone you hope to come into set with the team kind of
Fire,
immediately
baby.
as you start to take over the helmet, quarterback?
Yeah, hard working. It's about us going out there and earning every single thing. And I want all of us to believe that we got to go and earn it. And I'm going to be the guy that's going to give every single thing that I got, and that's every single day. I'm never going to let up. I'm going to do whatever it takes to go out there and win. It's important that my teammates see that, and they see that in me, and I want them to be inspired by that. So the work starts now. I'm looking forward to it, and it's really going to be exciting.
Kind of along those lines, what do you want to get out of the next couple of months here in terms of continuing to build those relationships with guys like Jacoby and Brock? What do you hope to accomplish by the time this regular season comes?
Yeah, just get closer to my teammates. Really learn the name of everybody in the building, get to know every single person in this building, and get to know my teammates, get acclimated with the weather here, get acclimated with the city, find myself here and really just start to build it, the way that we will see it.
Geno, you went 7 years without much opportunities on the field, but then these last 3 years now have a team wanting to trade for you, wanting to compensate you as you deserve. How does that feel? And also, Max Crosby has spoken greatly about you. How excited are you to play next week?
Yes, the thing that we're here to celebrate is the chance to go out there and win. I've always felt that the belief in myself is always going to be greater than the belief that anyone else can have for me, and I've always had that. And so being a part of this here, very, very excited and very grateful for the opportunity.
Love this, man.
But the work is what matters the most, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Max is a guy who I've played against, who has been a perennial All-Pro. But the thing that I love about him is he plays the entire game. He plays hard the entire game, and that's something that is rare in this league. And that's something that when you look at a guy who's a leader on defense, if he can do it, everyone else can try and do that, and everyone else can strive to be like Max. And so I want to do the same thing. I want to be like Max. I want to, play hard the entire game and leave it all out there on the field.
What would you say are some differences and some similarities between your situation coming into Seattle versus your situation now coming into here? Throughout those, experiences, how would you say your attitude has just changed going to this new opportunity?
Well, I'll say just perspective. I'm a little older now. Obviously I've gained more perspective, but my mindset has never changed. It's the same thing every day, man. Go out there and compete. Go out there and win. Do what it takes to be the best.
Yep.
And even when I was the backup, that's how I felt. And so I think that allowed me to stay in it. And now that I get the opportunity to start, nothing changes. I'm still, in my mind, that same guy who had to fight, scratch and claw.
Talk, Geno.
And that'll never leave me.
Talk that shit.
Resigned with Seattle, knowing that you were going to be a backup. Did you ever resign yourself to the fact that was going to be your life in the NFL? And if not, what was the end game for you? Did you have a vision that there was going to be more?
Yeah, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I knew an opportunity would come if I just continued to work hard and continue to believe. And right before Coach called me and said, "Hey, we want to give you the opportunity to start. You got to go compete for it." I was already saying I'm going to take someone's job somewhere. And again, not in a cocky or arrogant way, but I just feel that I'm one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm out to go out there and prove it.
Talk, Geno.
To my teammates every day. I want to prove it to the organization every day. And then when the product goes out there on Sunday, I want to make sure that I'm one of the best.
You know, you told Albert Breer that you had a meeting with Tom Brady after you joined the team. What was that like, and what's it like having him be a part of this franchise?
You know, I got a chance to FaceTime with Tom once I was traded. You know, it's Tom Brady. It's a guy that, you know, I've idolized and looked up to, and I believe that he does things the right way. And I think that's something that I wanted to take from, you know, just watching his game from afar. Then you get to meet him. I got a chance to talk to him. I went to
my dog got on them Horace Grant.
Got a chance to just spend about an hour and just talk ball with him and just talk life. And you understand why he is who he is immediately. You know, he takes everything extremely serious.
But no bullshit.
He's a diligent worker and he believes in hard work. And I think we align in that way. And you know, I want to be a sponge. You know, I want to soak up as much knowledge as I can from him. I want to learn as much as I can from him. The greatest quarterback to play the game. I mean, there's so many things that you can learn. And I think the main thing is that I'm here to win and I'm here to do the right things for my teammates, just as he did.
Mark, Zeke, Adam, and Harry.
Hey, John, where does he fit into your overall plans as far as voting this
Somebody just
franchise?
fart, bro. Sounded like it.
Well, we talked when we Pete and I got these jobs about, you know, every avenue we could explore to find a quarterback we would do, and to have one that's as accredited as him, you know, I love. We were just talking upstairs, his journey, the adversity he's been through. It's going to be a great resource to our players in this organization. I mean, he's kind of seen the worst. He's been through it. He's come out the other side, and you know, we expect him to do all the things a quarterback does: throw the ball really well. He can do, and then, you know, be a great leader for us too. So, you know, you have a few guys on each roster that set the direction of your team, and you know, I know Geno's up for that task. So that's why Pete and I are so thrilled to have him here.
Geno, you're entering season 12, I believe. You've been a starter. You've been backup. What has been the biggest lesson you've learned?
Hey, Kermit.
Overall?
The biggest lesson I've learned is to stay consistent and to keep your head down and you work. I've, you know, figured out how to eliminate outside noise. I realized that in this business, this is the big leagues, and there's a lot of talk that goes on, but I understand that the work is what matters the most, and what you actually do is what matters the most. And so I know we're here doing a lot of talking today, but you know, I'm really about, just like Marshawn said, I'm about that action.
Can you talk about the collaborative process of building the roster in the way that you want to? Obviously, Geno, a big start of that, but like maybe what you had to do in Seattle to build it to where it was, and now here in Vegas, kind of compare and contrast that.
You asking me that?
The collaborative process of building a roster.
I'm kind of leaning on Geno.
I think Geno was about to answer that one.
What we did was,
and then I had to, we started the whole thing out there looking for the right people to compete with, and to make sure that we, throughout all of the opportunities that we could face, that we would exhaust them to find the right guys. And we found some real success in the second half of the draft, in free agency, in every opportunity that we could. We tried to figure out how to make us better. And really, to do that, we had to find the right competitors, and was our focus. Then Johnny and I are totally, arm in arm and figuring that out here. And every opportunity we've had so far, we feel like we've exhausted the best shot to get the toughest, most physical guys that love the game. It's so important too. That's more important than anything in their life, but their families. That's what we've been digging into. It's the same thing we want about it in that manner there. And so the proof is in us putting it together, but we're very clear on what it takes and what we want to get done.
The black Devon joints
that you can hear in Geno, and the sincerity and the commitment and the conviction that it takes to be a great competitor. That's what he is, and that's what we're looking for. And so I think this is a really significant day for us in that you can see how aligned we are, and the three of us are, in what it takes. And that's why this isn't new to me. It's just an extension in the opportunity to show it and prove it again here.
Geno, you played against the Raiders twice in Oakland. How cool is it now being able to have the Raider Nation in your favor instead of against you? And also, you were the first quarterback to play in Allegiant Stadium with fans in the stands back in 2021 in the preseason. that stadium, you got a dome compared to Seattle, unpredictable weather. How great is that for you?
I think, when I got a chance to play against the Raiders back in Oakland, was playing against like Charles Woodson in his later in his career, Khalil Mack. They had Bruce Irvin, a guy that I know, and
we smoked.
Man, they all spoke so highly of the organization and just of the fan base and how they rally behind the team. Being on the other side of it, man, it was tough. They always made it tough on me. You see the costumes and the spike shoulder pads. I mean, just all the things that when you think about the Raiders, man, that's what you see. And to have that on our side now, I think is going to be special for us to go out there and compete and get the fans riled up and bring that energy and that juice to the stadium. It's going to be so important and so fun. And I was here with Coach Carroll actually when we played in the preseason, and it was pretty rowdy then, even though it was a preseason game. So I'm really looking forward to the fan base and just having them on our side and going out there and winning games.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Love it, man. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. How you guys feel about that presser? Salute to our new quarterback, Geno Smith. Salute to our new head coach, Pete Carroll. Salute to our new general manager, John Spytek, man. Beautiful. Beautiful. The presser couldn't have been any better than that. He answered every question phenomenally. He's excited to be here. Pete Carroll is just absolutely ready to run. Spytek, you can just tell he's just so reserved, but he's hiding some excitement there. You could tell he's hyped. He's hyped. He's hyped Williams right now, baby. To Mokes, 10 out of 10. Facts, man. Salute to Gio. Let me get rid of this real quick. Boom. This is really making me feel like we are going to win sooner than we might have thought. This regime makes the McDaniels Ziegler look amateur, man. This is facts. Salute to my guy. Gio, I'm still bringing my expectations. I want to see what this draft looks like first. I got to see what this draft looks like. If they absolutely kill this draft and we get our year 2 guys to step up and take that next step, i.e. DJ Glaze, JPJ, Brock is Brock. He's going to be who he is. Tommy Eichenberg, so on and so forth, DCAM. I think we can make the necessary steps to turn this thing and right this ship. But, we have to hit this draft class out of the ballpark. And once again, you need those year 2 and those year 3 guys to step up. Jacorian Bennett needs to have a big year for us. You know what I mean? Like some of those guys, like Michael Mayer, if he's still around, we need him to show up this year. So those year 2, year 3 guys, we need those guys to step up this upcoming season, but they need to hit this draft class out the ballpark. Salute to Louis G, my guy, being a member for 8 months. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, man. Hug. And the thing is this, we're all bought into this now, right? Like Jeanty would be a great pickup. Who's to say he's going to be there at 6? Hug, like he's such a great talent that somebody may take him before us. You think that Jacksonville, with their new offensive-minded head coach, isn't thinking that Jeanty could be a massive upgrade over Etienne out there? Who's to say Jacksonville won't take him before us? Who's to say that the Giants may giant it up and say, let's do the Saquon Barkley thing again at 3? I could be wrong. I could be wrong, right? There's no signs of the Giants taking a running back. But somebody can take him. New England, Vrabel may want his Derrick Henry, his workhorse back that he had in Tennessee. You just never truly really know. Now, once again, if he goes before us, that means that another one of those great options will be available to us at 6. We're in a really good situation here at 6. We'll be fine. But either way, look, if GT's there, you take him. And if not, then, hey, man, if you can trade back, get a Marion Hampton, or wait until the second to get one of, Chip's guys and Trayvon Henderson or a Judkins, then either way, we'll be ripping and running. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. And one thing that Geno displays, he's old enough and wise enough to know that at the quarterback position, you have to be accountable. Accountability is key for a quarterback in the NFL level, and you can tell, man, that's one of the assets that he possesses. He's like, there's going to be some times we're going to lose some games, you guys. And I look at Geno as the guy that is going to hold himself accountable. It's not going to be a throw another guy under the bus, this guy under the bus. It's going to be, hey, man, I got to get better. I got to get, I got to tighten up. he comes off as just that guy to me. But once again, not going to get too hyped up. Love Geno Smith in the building right now, in his presser. Love it. You know what I mean? But, got to see this thing live and live in color to get really, truly hyped up. But I'm telling you right now, the presser definitely got me ready to run through a damn wall for sure. But once again, us Raider fans, we've been through this for years, right? And I'm not trying to take any hopium away from anybody. We've been here. For those who have been fans forever, you can't get too hyped until we see the product on the football field, because we've been bad for so long. You know what I mean? Outside of a few seasons, the 2021 where we snuck in, the 2016 at 12-4 when DC broke his leg, few seasons we found some true happiness where we thought we were back and we weren't. But I'm excited, man. Great vibes with Pete Carroll, Spytek, and Geno Smith. Love to see it. I'm really, really pumped to see what this thing looks like out there this upcoming season. Let me see. Mongo says, Big Graph OG, thank you for the info. Pass on Hunter. Will be hurt in the NFL, in my opinion. Raider Nation for life. Salute to my guy, Mongo Raider. You mean Hunter? Are you talking about Hunter Renfro, or you mean Trav? Who are you talking about, Mongo? Let me see. ITK. Well, the thing is this. I think that Pete already knew what Russell Wilson was becoming at that point in his career. Since he's left Seattle, it hasn't looked the same. He had a couple ball games last year where, had a few glimpses of past Russell Wilson, but I think that great coaches understand and they read who a player is, and they kind of move on from him before it gets really, really, truly bad. And for Seattle to get that kind of draft capital and all that shit back, I don't know if they really turned it into anything. They haven't really had a ton of success since they moved on from Russell Wilson. But it takes great talent evaluators to understand it's time to move on. It's time to move on from this person before it gets truly bad, and they have nothing left, no interest left out there in the market. And Geno went out there and played really well for Pete a couple years. Once again, the 2022 year, playoffs, comeback player of the year. They ended up eventually getting blown out by the Niners, but I think in that 2022 year, didn't the Niners, they made it to the Super Bowl, right? I think that's the year where they lost to Kansas City. So I could be wrong. I may have my years mixed up, but I just know Seattle got blown out. It was like 40-something to 20-something that game. It's going to be interesting. The thing is this, right? You have a quarterback that can get it done. This is a guy that is a pocket passer, but he can get loose. So it's going to be interesting to see how much RPO they would use with Geno at 34 years old. Once again, still has a ton of tread on his wheels, but I just don't know how much they would utilize the RPO, with him. I think they want to keep him upright, keep him healthy. He's more of a pocket passer. He, once again, he can get outside the pocket and make some plays with his legs. But that's why it's going to be interesting to see if if we end up getting Milroe, like if Milroe drops to the second or third and we end up taking a flyer on him, then I can see some crazy RPOs with some, certain looks with Jalen Milroe out there getting those kind of reps. I would like it, even though I'm not a Milroe guy, but it'd be interesting to see him out there getting those RPO looks. But I don't know, man. I think you'll see some. I don't think that they're going to go out there and overly abuse the RPO with Geno Smith out there, but it's going to be interesting to see how it looks. Once again, though, I mentioned Milroe, and he got an invitation to the draft, so it looks like there's some true interest there for him to be gone in the first round. Let me see. Time for Trey Tucker to step up. Facts. Love it. Love it. This is what you love to see. Raider Laker, this is what you love to see. You love to see it, man. You got Max on one side. You got Geno on one side. They're already communicating constantly, FaceTiming each other back and forth. They already have one common goal, and that's to win. That's to turn this thing around. You love to see it. Salute to Jason, man, my dog. Hunter in the building, gifting 10 of them things. We got like 110, 115 new members because of you guys, dog. Salute to Raider Demon King, my brother in real life. Thank you, man. Salute to the new 10 members in the building because of Jason Hunter. If you want to become a member and you missed out on those, The link is pinned up top, you guys. Again, it helps us keep the lights on over here at OLV Raiders Network. Salute to Gio. My expectations are tempered. I'm not hyping shit until it's 9+ in the win column, but I just believe in Pete Carroll. I truly believe we will be a competent team and a good one sooner than later. And I think a lot of the success definitely falls on Pete Carroll. But I think that with Tom Brady in the building, Gio, and with Spytech here, a truly very, very respected guy around the NFL, I think things are going to look different. I know people go back and look at the 9-8 seasons with Pete Carroll before he left, right? It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't nasty. It was just kind of mediocre. I think with Tom in the building and all the success that he's had and everything that he's done, and with Spytech, helping put that thing together in Tampa Bay, winning a championship, getting Brady over there, then later on pivoting and bringing Baker Mayfield in where they won the division and went to the playoffs. We have a ton of people that know how to win, that's been there before. And I'm excited, man. I'm really hyped about this, dude. Like, I love the coaching staff that we have. I love going to get Thielen, the running backs coach from Notre Dame. I'm telling y'all now, what he did with Love this past season, he's gonna definitely help that ground game, man. Think about this, you guys. We have Chip Kelly, the offensive coordinator from the team that won the national championship, and now we have Thielen, the running backs coach for the other team that Ohio State actually beat in the national championship. My Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Two coaches that proved that they can get it done at the highest level, at the collegiate level, not in the NFL. I'm just saying, but the collegiate level. We have two really good coaches that we added, to this staff that is going to bring massive value to the offensive side of the football. So I think whether it's Jeanty, whether it's Hampton, Henderson, Juckins, whoever it is, it could be, Caleb Johnson, whoever it is, I truly believe that Chip Kelly and Thielen, those guys are gonna help out massively, man. I'm telling you now, it's gonna be fun to watch this thing moving forward. Salute to Gio, man. But you're right. My expectations this year, Gio, is to get back to that 500 mark. If we can hit 9-8 this year, look, I feel like that's a massive step ahead to, that kind of has you out a game outside looking at that wild card. You know what I mean? And we've seen teams sneak into the playoffs at 9-8, so you just never truly know. But I just want to get back to winning football games. Back to winning football games, not 10-game skids, losing 10 games straight. I can't live with this shit no more. My heart can't take it anymore, man. Facts, LV Maximus, no booger, nose ring. Salute to Jason, my brother, gifting 5 more OLV Raiders Network memberships. My dog, my brother, man, I appreciate you so much, my guy. We got to get a cigar soon, my brother. Salute to Jason, one of the GOATs over here in my fathers at OLV Raiders Network, man. Let me see. With Pete, it takes a year. He builds teams, so we need to give it a chance. Yeah, man. And that's another reason why they didn't go out and spend a crazy amount of money in free agency. They went out and got these inexpensive deals, these prove-it type deals to see how bad these guys really want to turn their careers around, i.e. Devin White, Eric Stokes, so on and so forth. But yeah, I hear you, USC. I just want this thing to I want us to win way more ball games than what we did last year. I mean, if you could put 5 more up in the win column last season, I take that as a dub next year. Would I be totally happy? No, but at least we see some progress in year 1 with all these new guys and this new whole, GM, the Tom Brady experience, Pete Carroll, so on and so forth. Rich, honestly, man, Geno was out there working out with Elijah Moore. Tyler Lockett is Geno Smith's guy. Honestly, I could be totally wrong. I feel like there's a deal that's already kind of out there for Tyler Lockett. And who's to say Lockett may go to a winning, already a team that's kind of already a perennial playoff team. Maybe he goes to the likes of like a Buffalo or a Baltimore where he feels he can win a championship on the way out. But I feel like there's kind of just like a handshake deal behind the scenes already with Tyler Lockett. Honestly, there's no real connections with Elijah Moore. He's younger. He's only 25. He just turned 25. So I would love to have Elijah Moore in the building. But with Tyler Lockett, 600 yards last season, 2 touchdowns, being the 3rd option in Seattle with the connections to Pete Carroll, the connections to Geno Smith, I just think it makes sense, that he'll be a Raider, whether it's after the draft or right before the draft. Let me see. Oh, Jose, it's going to be Malcolm Kuntz. Until proven otherwise, Tyree is the higher drafted guy, former top 10 pick. Malcolm Kuntz, 3rd round pick out of Buffalo. It's going to be Malcolm Kuntz. Kuntz has had more production, even missing the entire year last year. The year prior, he had a ton of production in that little 4 or 5 game skid at the end of the season. So I'm going with Malcolm Kuntz. 1 year, $12 million deal, somewhere like that. Until Tyree can prove that, he can go out there and get it done. Tyree is a rotational guy at this point, Jose. I know that they'll go out there and compete and they'll sell that as whoever goes out there and wins the job. This is Malcolm Kuntz's job to lose, even on a 1 year deal. Like Tyree has to earn those reps, and he hasn't earned it yet. Has he gotten better? Yes, he has. But is that saying a lot? No. So, yeah, Dan, that's what I'm saying. That the familiarity there, you give him a security blanket. You know what I mean? Like he's going to love Brock Bowers. He's going to love Trey Tucker. He's going to love these guys. But bringing in a Tyler Lockett, he's still a deep ball threat at this point in his career, regardless if he's 32, 33 years old. He's a security blanket for him. You want that familiarity. I mean, look what Hunter Renfrow, look what Derek Carr did for Hunter Renfrow, right? Like that was his guy. That was his guy. And then, you move on and Josh McDaniels happens, of course, but these guys have their guy. And Tyler Lockett is definitely Geno's guy. I know it's nasty, Hug, but we're here, right? We got to live with it now. It's nasty work. Once again, for those, I see Sean saying, hell no on Ewers. I would rather have Howard or Milroe. Ewers is visiting Las Vegas tomorrow, you guys. Him and Ashton Jeanty will be flying out to Las Vegas tomorrow to have meetings with our Raiders. And it sounds like there may be some other players on the way also. I don't have any names, but it sounds like there may be other guys going out there to visit with the Raiders on the first day where business is starting to pick up in Las Vegas. Dom, you would love to see it. Year 2 guy, you would love to see it. He has those measurables, 6'2", 6'3", outside corner. You would love to see it. If anybody can get it out of D. Rich, it's Pete Carroll, for sure. Let me see. Yeah, and Daniel, I'm not mad about that. I don't think that Lockett even expects to sign with anybody before the draft, regardless of anything. So, but let's just say that the draft falls where you end up with getting a nice boundary, XY receiver, and you kind of miss out on a guy that you want, to put in the slot. Because once again, you got Brock will play a lot in the slot, but Tucker can slide in the slot as well. But he plays a ton on the boundary as well. So it wouldn't hurt to sign Tyler Lockett or Hunter Renfrow. Honestly, because of how many reps Tucker gets on the outside, you can still use another slot guy. I think all of us Raider fans tend to forget because we look at Trey Tucker's size and we just assume that he's a slot guy. He plays a ton on the boundary. Now you're going to see some moving and shaking with Brock in the slot and Mayer if he's still on this roster at the tight end position. You'll see some different looks. Yeah, David, we talked about Mason Graham as well visiting the Raiders. So it looks like, okay, he'll be in the building with Ashton Jeanty and Ewers also. So love to see it. Mondo, I would love that, bro. I would love it. And if he's not a Raider, I'll be at all his games wearing Raider shit. I'll make sure that if he played for the Titans, I'm going to have a Raiders jersey with his number and his name on it. If he plays for the Bills, I'm going to have a Raiders jersey with his name and his number on it. Ain't no selling out, man. Blood or not, don't matter. Raider the fuck out. He knows what time it is. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are you guys waiting on? Once again, we covered the presser today. Geno Smith, Pete Carroll, John Spytek. Great presser. If you guys get an opportunity and you're just joining us, double back to the Raiders YouTube channel. Check it out. We also went over the Quinn Ewers, Ashton Jeanty visiting the Raiders tomorrow. We talked about the Mason Graham visit yesterday as well. Also, the Albert Breer article on SI.com. You guys have to check that out, man. Geno Smith gave a ton of information on his transitioning from Seattle to Las Vegas, the relationship between Tom Brady and him and Pete Carroll. Talked about JPJ, his conversations that he's had with Max Crosby up to this point. There's a ton of Raider content out there right now, you guys, for us Raider sickos to go out there and just digest, man. So check out the article. Albert Breer put out a phenomenal article, and I love that it dropped the same day as the presser. So it gets the nation hyped up and we're here for it, man. Brave. Look, man, these kids would love to play at the NFL level. If he plays for the Chiefs, I will be raided out at Arrowhead every week, dog. And I'm only rooting for him. Let me see. Love Benjamin Morrison, Daniel. Love him. I think he'll be a second-round guy, though. I think he'll be a second-round guy. I think Benjamin Morrison will be gone in the second round. If he's there in the third, you run to the podium if you haven't got a corner yet. But I think he's a second-round guy. And you're right. He's phenomenal on the outside. He's historically picked up the number one guys from every other team that he's faced when he was on the football field. You love that. Benjamin Morrison has been a guy that always makes sure to cover the number one guy in the opposing offense. Benjamin Morrison is him. He's one of those guys. So, boom. But other than that, you guys, love and appreciate every single one of you guys hitting that hour and a half mark. I'm about to go hit this gym, and I got some other stuff that I need to attend to today. Once again, salute to everybody who joined the show. Thank you. Make sure you guys wipe them feet on the way out. Also, hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. Salute to everybody that gifted all the memberships. You guys are truly, truly goated. Salute to Rob on the 50 piece. Salute to everybody, right? Ryan, Hug, Jason, Top Beats, all my people that gifted you. Raiders USC, thank you for becoming a member as well. Just thank you to everybody, man. Thank you to everybody. Commenters, non-commenters, members, non-members. Salute to every single one of you guys. I just ask you to do me a favor. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Salute to everybody but bitch ass Frank. Love you. We out. One.
That's what I'm talking about.